One of the metrics that I'm always looking at are sort of my fixed versus my variable cost. Those are sort of where your decision points really are. I think that's particularly important when you think about cost of goods, especially. Two, kind of, my general gross margins, my blended gross margins and my gross margins by channel. Super, super important to really understand what that is and what's happening to my cost of goods over time.
Yeah, I would agree that gross margin is important. The thing is, sometimes it's really hard to kind of figure out what's going on there, because in any one year, your cost of goods sold reflects maybe 2 or 3 vintages of wine that you're selling. So then you're sort of looking at, well, what was going on 3 years ago? Why is the gross margin smaller? Well, the yields were down 3 years ago. It really didn't have anything to do with farming costs. It was just yields were down.
Yeah, I think, Rick, that's a really good point about the kind of fluctuation you can have in cost of goods. And I think one of the important things for smaller medium wineries to do is to make sure that all the stakeholders in the business kind of align around what the metrics are that they really care about. Some of smaller and medium-sized wineries really care about cash profit or net income. And their, EBITDA is nice to know. Other ones are very interested in what their EBITDAs are. But they might be in a period where they have positive EBITDA, but are not spitting off any free cash flow because they're, say, expanding or growing inventory or something like that.
Would one of you, perhaps Peter, because you were just on the mic, define what EBITDA is? We have some folks on this call that are not necessarily from finance and have asked, like, what falls below the line of profit margin and then falls to EBITDA.
So it's your earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So it's trying to really get at it's trying to take away some of the things that eat up cash, I think, right? And give you a picture of sort of an equivalized picture that you could then also compare across industries of what your profitability is. I tend to agree with Rick that for small and medium-sized wineries, it's nice to know, but you may not be making very many actual business decisions based on your EBITDA. If you're trying to put your winery up for sale, your EBITDA is going to matter a lot to anybody that's going to look at your winery from outside. But small and medium-sized wineries may be looking much more at, hey, can I achieve an overall blended gross margin that's ever going to get me to cash profitability? That's probably door number one.